I recently got back from a trip in Europe. I was traveling around Europe, going to different theme parks. I'm going to be doing some books, not just one book, but a lot of different books about my trip. They're coming out. I'll talk more about that as they get closer. I don't like to kind of tell you or tell people like, oh, this is my book in case someone else. I'm going to try to do the same book. But when they get closer, I'll talk about them more. But I didn't get a lot of souvenirs because I didn't have a lot to carry with me. I didn't want to be carrying a lot. I've lived overseas. I really hate like moving around with a ton of stuff. So it was mostly just a backpack and a little shoulder bag for me. And even that, next time it's just a backpack. So every time I go overseas, I have less and less and less. So anyway, I'm going to show you what little I did get. And some of this is actually going to go on eBay eventually. But so actually, probably pretty soon, at least some of it. So I'll probably have if you're not watching this and there's no link, I haven't posted it, but once the stuff is posted on eBay, I will have a link to it if you're interested. But that'll probably be pretty soon. But the first thing, not for sale, I'll tell you when there are things I'm going to sell, is a book about Efteling. Some of you might not know about it, some people might. Efteling is, I think it's the fifth, or it's in the top 5 most visited theme parks in Europe. And it's in the Netherlands. I'm not sure the actual city. It's by Eindhoven or Tilburg. Those are the biggest cities. I went from Eindhoven, then I went to Tilburg, and then I went to the city. So there was no Eindhoven to Efteling. There was Tilburg to Efteling options to travel there. So anyway, it's really a lot about like a fairy tale. Here's one of the best rides I really liked. It's a dark ride. They have a mix. It's mostly a big part of it, and how it started was kind of a fairy tale. See, that's the first part. Fairy tale things, kind of like in America we have, fairy tale places. There are not a lot of them anymore. Fairy tale parks. And it expanded. It has been doing more like roller coasters. There are more roller coasters. They have some dark rides. So it's more even for everybody now. It's not just kids. It's still heavily kid friendly. Definitely, that's still a huge part. But they do have some really good coasters. Here you can see they have a donkey who poops coins. Actually, I forgot to pull those out. I did get a few coins. This donkey, there's a story. If you really want to know, put a comment. Tell us about the defecating donkey. You say, tell me about enough people say, tell me about the defecating donkey. I will tell you that story. I did get a tour, fortunately, when I visited. I got a little behind the scenes, not a lot, but I did get at least a tour of the park. And I did get to find out, because of the tour, a lot of the things in Europe, I'm like, I have no idea what this is. Even some of the stuff in here, I'm like, I don't know. But actually, no, definitely because I had someone I was able to ask anything I really had questions about before going off on my own. But yeah, so I found out about the donkey. But you pay 50 euro cents, and out shoots a coin from its rear. Its little tail goes whoo, and it shoots a coin out. Just a little cheap plastic coin. I mean, for only 50 euro cents, what do you expect? It's pretty big though. And I think they're random coins, because in the book you see a coin with the donkey doing his thing. Donkey doing his duty. Doo-doo. Whatever. Yeah, so I'm trying to alliterate too much here. Anyway, the donkey, sometimes I saw one, before I saw someone do it and it just shot out. When I did it, it just kind of like, boop. Like, wow, that was not nearly as exciting. Why did mine just barely go? So I don't know. I guess it depends how often. I think it uses maybe compressed air. I'm not certain. I guess I should have asked. Also, I actually I may ask them about having someone on to interview at some point. Like I said, I'm going to have some interviews. They probably would do that, hopefully. I don't know. We'll see. I'll ask them later. Anyway, Efteling was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I really did. Again, it's maybe not the biggest thrills. There are some good coasters, and it is a little out of the way. That's my biggest complaint about it, is it's not in the most central located area. But if you're willing to go kind of a little out of the way to get there, and it's not terribly, I mean, it depends. There could be ways where it's on your way, depending on how you do it. For my situation, it was not on my way, and I was doing a lot in a very short time at that point. In fact, in 24 hours, I went to the top 3 theme parks in Europe. In fact, number 3 is this one right here, Europa-Park. Oh, one other thing about that Efteling book, it was only €350, which maybe roughly $5, I think even less than that, which I think is a really good deal. You know, if you go to a lot of parks here, it would be a lot more, like $10 book at least, because it's really pretty. It's thin paperback, but it's good color photos. It's a really pretty good job, pretty good book. I really like it. And so yeah, a lot of their stuff actually, you know, I know here in America you get like a soda and it's $5. I mean, maybe not that much, but it's pretty bad. You know, anytime you buy, well, a big soda, but at least in the machine, it might not be $5 if it's just like, you know, a can. But other than that, you know, it's pretty expensive to get anything. And I thought a lot of the food and the items were pretty reasonably priced for, you know, what you don't expect that. And that's true for Efteling and for Europa-Park. This is one more people. I know it doesn't even. Oh, maybe here. And it says Europa-Park. That's the back though. It's odd, but whatever. Anyway, but you may know Europa-Park. It is the third most popular park. It's owned by a company that does roller coasters. So as you can imagine, they definitely do a lot of roller coasters. But they do have a lot of dark rides as well. I want to try to find. Um, I think it's farther along, but they do have a lot of good rides. They're when I was in line, someone was saying like a British family I was talking to before the park opened were waiting at the gate to go in, and they told me that they actually liked Europa Park better than Disneyland. They've been to both parks at Disney, and they didn't really like Disneyland as much as Europa Park. I honestly can understand. I was actually really disappointed. I might do a whole video about each park. I know I'm already talking a lot about each park, but I think I may do a video on each park for kind of give you a little info before the books come out. And besides, I don't really get to talk. I'm trying to find this one particular page in here. I should have planned that ahead. So if you're like, what is he doing? I'm looking for the page. Anyway, you'll understand why in a second. But the one bad thing I will say, I mean, they have so many. Oh, here's the money shot. You might find that familiar. Uh, it is next to the Universe of Energy ride, by the way, which has dinosaurs in it, but not Ellen. And there is no Universe of Energy at Disney World anymore, is there? I wrote about that in Extinct Attractions, in fact, if you want to get that book. But yeah, so Europa Park, the biggest problem is the animatronics are kind of eh. If they could improve the animatronics, you know, their dark rides that have them would be a lot better. But they have some good coasters. They have a ton of rides. There's 100 rides. I don't think I did all of them because, well, some I couldn't. I was too tall. But you know, I mean, a lot of the bumper cars. I didn't do the bumper cars, but I did make sure to go on all the dark rides, all the coasters, all that, so I could tell people about those. Especially, like I said, in the book coming out, and who knows how long. It takes a long time to get books published. So this was actually on sale. I think it was like €198. It was. I think it's because it's older. It's 2014. I noticed in here, like the newest thing, they have just concept art for it. It's not. It's like the Minimon Kingdom or something. It's some European children's thing that I don't know. They gave me tickets, but they didn't give me a tour. That was one of the only places that didn't really give me a tour. Disney didn't either. They didn't even give me tickets. They would have, but they ran out because they have so many media tickets. So yeah, that's right. I got to go to the parks for free and get tours and go behind the scenes sometimes. So the next things I got are just some maps. These are like double-sided maps. I don't even remember. I don't want to touch them, make them all messed up. I do collect maps, but I don't need all of these. I actually thought I had more. I only have one French one. I was like, oh, I'm in France. Get some French ones. But most of these are in English. These were free, yes. I probably will post those on eBay at some point, I think. Some of them, not all of them. And then the one I will post on eBay, though, was I actually didn't get anything at the park other than I got a coin. I mentioned the coins. I got the donkey coin. I also bought a Star Tours coin. Again, I had the coins all together. I also had a Louvre coin with the Mona Lisa. I like coins. I'm a numismatist, so I like to collect coins. So yeah, obviously I went for that stuff. But yeah, and so I didn't have that. Maybe I'll show a video with those later. But after there was this €50 book that I was really excited about. I'm like, I want to get that book. Kind of. I was actually debating. I looked at it. They had a copy because it's in plastic, but they had one out that you could look at and read. It's in English and in French. It's for the 25th anniversary. I think it's limited edition. I'm not 100% sure. They're all trying to sell it to me like, oh, it's, one of a kind. We don't have a lot of them. There, not many left, so it probably is limited. I don't know the details, but I actually just wasn't into the book, honestly. It didn't look that great. It was kind of like this 24 hours in Disney. 1 a.m. they're cleaning Main Street. 2 a.m. they're painting Main Street. They did have a small part in Imagineering that I would have liked to see more of that. I think a 25 years thing, like year one, year two, that would have been much more interesting. It wasn't that great. And I was debating. I knew, how am I going to fit that? If I fit that, I'm putting like extra clothes on so I can fit it into my bag or something. And so I didn't get it. That night, I went online and I saw it was going for $200 on eBay from the UK plus shipping. In fact, when I got home, it ended up selling. That had already been off. I assume someone bought it. I didn't actually check to see if it was on the sold listings, but yeah, it wasn't there. So I assume someone did buy it for that much. Like, I should have bought it. So then I go to the airport and I'm flying out of Charles de Gaulle, and they had a Disney store. At the Disney store, they had the book. And yes, I bought it. As you can see, I have not taken it out of the plastic because I'm still not sure what I'm doing with it. If I'm going to keep it for myself, I don't really like it that much, but when will I get it? And I do think I have a lot of really expensive Disney books, and those kind of things only go up, so I honestly expect this to go up in value, if anything. It's almost the end of the year. It sounded like they may be close to selling out of them anyway when I was at the park. So even if I go back, it might not even be there. So if you're going to Paris, buy a copy. It's a good idea. It'll help. You could even sell it and help pay for your trip. Honestly, it's pretty close to at least covering one way. So when I looked on the night after I went to the park, when I did look, I also found some other stuff, including those coins. I should have bought more coins. They would have made me some money. But I also saw actually this was I bought this at the I had seen this on eBay and I didn't remember how much it was. It's a photo album. I'm actually not even sure if I got the right photo album because this just says Disneyland Parks. I thought it was a 25th anniversary photo album, so I hopefully didn't spend money on something in a lot of room that required an extra shirt or two to be worn, because I don't really care about photo albums. I was at the airport, they had free Wi-Fi, I looked, what do they have at this store that I might be able to sell? So I got this. I actually would have got another of the book, but they only had one. They only had one at the shop. I did ask, they're like, that's the only one we have, sorry. So I wasn't able to get any more. I would have got one to sell at least and one to keep. I also got a bunch of comics, some newer comics. It's pretty big. Let's see, I'm wondering if it was by, no, it didn't say anything about, I mean, obviously that's not Carl Barks, although, yes, we do have a Carl Barks one coming up. This is the coolest one of all. It's 1956. I'm going to kind of hide the prices, because some of these I will sell. Not this one. This you may be familiar with. It was by Carl Barks. On the back you can see these are all the same. The journal, Le Journal de Mickey. I'm sure I'm pronouncing it wrong. They're very particular about that. Anyway, that's the oldest one. This one's 1962. I like that. It might be by Carl Barks too. I got a few older ones. I paid... is that? Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm like, wait, that's not the... Okay. These are from the 70s. Yeah, I'm kind of covering the prices because the 70s ones I may end up putting online. So we'll see. I haven't decided yet. But that's actually all I really got. But I did... Surprisingly, I thought as doing collectibles for a living, I was actually like, you know what, if I buy 2 of those books, I buy some coins, I buy some comics, and in fact, I'm going to try selling, like I said, I might sell 1 or 2, because I could buy some comics online. I have some sources I can get people, I can find them and have somebody get them for me. So, again, I was out there, met some people, I can get some if I need to. So I may end up just buying, I might try to sell them if people like them. I'm actually going to try selling some more then, I guess. I'm actually doing the same with some British comics. So Anyway, again, when I have some shipments, we'll do some unboxing. You can see that stuff. Don't have them yet though. So I'm gonna have some stuff like that coming in. If you're interested in comics, Disney and others, and I'm probably gonna do some Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. I will talk about that maybe when I get those. Explain like what's that? It is Ninja Turtles, but British had different Ninja Turtles kind of. So actually a little more than you might realize, even if you know about that. There was a little more of a difference than ours than you might know about. So I might talk about that later. If you're interested in, like I said, hearing about the story of the donkey, I could do a whole video. It'll be a lot shorter than this. Or anything you're interested in finding more about, or you like, let me know. And if you like the video, make sure to subscribe. I'm definitely going to give more information. Again, if you're like, hey, I'd love to hear about Efteling, or I'd love to hear about Europa-Park, if I see one thing that people really are interested in, I'll talk about that next time. So let me know what you're most interested in, what you liked about the most, or what you don't like. Like, this is too long, just shut up and make it shorter. I don't know. Whatever you want, let me know. I will read comments and try to take those into account. Thanks, and have a good day. Bye.